Okay, so this is a survey of some of my favorite music teaching apps. So one of the very first ones that I think is really great, especially for note identification. We're always looking for new games and things and that. And there's lots of apps out here, but I use Music Flash Class. It's so simple. And that's what I love about it. It literally has this triangle at the bottom, which is the go button. And it's got this little gear in the upper right corner, and that's it. So when you turn that gear around, it gives you all kinds of capabilities to choose whether you want to do letter names, solfege, whatever you want to do. It allows you to choose the notes. Let's say you just want to do bass clef, 5 notes. It gives you complete control over what you're using. You can turn on and decide which keys you're going to use, what sharps. You can do a time limit per note. You can do a total time limit that they're trying to race against. Learn mode means that they'll keep feeding them ones that they miss. Games and goals. There's all kinds of different ones, but you can do number of decks. You can do all kinds of things. Tell it to repeat or can keep going until there's a wrong answer. There's hot potato, which is fun because then you can turn on the buzzer and they'll actually get buzzed if they're too late. So many things that you can control, and then the rest of these are sound things and tips and things. But all of these have really great, you can, just by trying it out, you can learn most of it, or they have a good tutorial. So I'm going to hit done, and I'm just going to show you kind of what it looks like. So we'll have something like this, and right now there's a timer going. The timer is going to increase in pitch until it finishes. What I like is it also plays the note, so it's kind of good for ear training. Of course, I'm going very quickly. But it tells you what deck you're on, how many cards you're doing. And you can hear the pitch is getting higher. This is great to do online. You can share your screen, or you can do it in person where they have to pass the device, which adds another element of stress, I guess, or challenge. So that's what it does when you're done, when you're all out of time. So it's a great app. It only does that one thing, note identification, but it's a great app. Music Flash Class. Another one that I think is really awesome for young kids is this Tune Train. It's great for our little ones that want to mess around with composing because it kind of takes the whole notation thing out of it, but it shows them what it would look like. So I'm going to go into the first level. Let's go into Baritone Beach. So essentially, the houses with people are chords that are going to be in this composition. The people who are just on clouds in between are passing notes. And you can essentially draw a line with your finger, the student can, and they can just kind of trace over what they want for a shape. And then the little go button at the bottom will play their piece. It's a little train, goes down through all the little places. You could choose a different style, like pop, and play it again. It adds some harmony. And it's fun. If you look at the bottom where it has the little sheet music, it will show them actually what it looks like when it's playing. And of course the program has set the speed, has set the, the time signature, and it just allows the student to make the pitch higher or lower. And they can go back and they can change it. They can deselect one and pull it down here instead. They can change it and try out different things, which is really fun. And then they can either clear the whole thing, or you can just exit and try a different level. And they've got all different levels. They've got the Do Re Mi Desert. It's just super fun and easy to use. The kids love it. And it's a great introduction to, well, not just sight reading, because they'll notice that the pitch goes higher the higher it is on the page, and lower when it's lower on the page. But it's great for just fooling around with building, with early compositions, I should say. And I know I have quite a few really creative kids that really enjoy this app. There's also a great tutorial in it that's just for teachers, and also very simple to use. Very simple to use. Not very many. There is a list of settings, but you pretty much saw what was the main thing. For my older students or more advanced students, I tend to send them to musictheory.net. And the nice thing about musictheory.net is it can be accessed from any type of device. Now you'll see up here, this app is called Tenuto. This is their app for iPad. So it's musictheory.net, but this is what they call their app. So it has everything, just about everything you could want. It's got identification. Again, you can tell it, and it plays it. But it's a little more grown up, especially if you have some older beginners. It's really nice. All of these are identifications. Okay. Oops, I hit the same one, but like this one, right? And they have to decide what type of scale it is. And it plays it for them, which is really cool. Same thing with chords and intervals. Construction means they're actually asked to build things. So like building the key of C major, we don't need to do that. That's just going to submit answer. Okay, G major. So we click on this little sharp and we bring it back down to 1, the sharp side of things. And then we submit the answer. So it tests them. Can they build, it says, a diminished eighth. So we go up here to the octave. And we're going to put a little flat next to it. And it plays it for them, okay? Same thing with chord and scale construction. Keyboard identification is great for really young ones that you just want them to find the notes on the piano. Go figure. That one's a kind of a mean one for a young one, but anyway, so it's great. It just does all of these things except on the keyboard. So it's asking us to identify this scale. So we've got a harmonic minor, which is kind of cool. It also does it for guitar, fretboards. The ear training is awesome. I send a lot of my kids here for the ear training alone because, how can you do ear training unless someone's playing for you, right? So it's great. The note ear training actually helps develop perfect pitch. It's tricky because whatever they do, they start it right after you've done one. So you can hear it starts almost immediately after they've pressed the button, which is a little disconcerting. Same thing with chords. Calculators are like a teaching tool. So they can actually show uh, what a major scale looks like, what a minor scale looks like. They can pick whichever key they want to do. They can even do modes. So it's great because it shows them the answers, especially with chords and things. It's great for them to be able to see what these different chords look like and figure it out before they get tested on it. So that's really a great app. I love that app. And like I said, it's also accessible just on the web, and it's free. It's amazing. Tune Train, I think, costs about $3. It's not very much. Music Flash Class, also not very expensive app. The last one I'm going to show you is the Amazing Slow Downer. This app I use a lot with my students who are learning by ear, but also if they've got a recording that's really at a high speed, it allows them to import anything they want. I'm just going to use the demo song in a second, but see down here it says music library, photo library. That's in case you made a recording of something. Maybe your teacher made a recording. Music library is more like Apple Music. And then of course you could browse like all your files if you wanted to. But anyway, I'm going to go up here to 4 songs, and it was just a little demo. Little jazz pieces and stuff. And see, what's nice about this, just the speed function alone. I can speed things way up, and I can slow them way down. See, I can speed it up, and I can also way down to hear all the notes of the solo. There's ways that you can loop it. You can tell it where to start the loop, where to finish the loop. I've still got it on the slow speed. You can back it up. You can inch it forward. Now it's looping. All kinds of things that you can do with it, especially if you want to just hear the same part over and over again. I'm going to put the speed back in the middle. And I can even change the pitch. Now, I will change the pitch. Really heard there. So it's a very cool tool, especially if they're listening to a classical piece or a jazz piece and they really need to slow it down to listen, to have a better listen. Or maybe they're playing along with the recording and they just can't play that fast. It really is an awesome tool for that. So those are my faves. Tenuto, the Amazing Slow Downer, Tune Train, Music Flash Class. There's also, of course, Note Flight out there and Finale if they really want to get into music notation software, but I really feel that comes a little bit later. And there's so many apps. You could just go in and Google music teaching apps and you'll come up with all kinds of things, I'm sure. And the list could be extensive, but these are the ones that I use, especially teaching online right now, and I'm very successful with them. So I hope this helped. Please visit my blog at singplaymove.com/blog and check out some more of our tutorials on group class teaching and mics and adapters and what have you. We've got a little bit of everything here.